Some high energy dance music coming in at number 38 on my fancy playlist. Boy, this is an old school group, but they still got that fresh techno pop sound, a sweet spread of techno pop. This record is at number 38, debuting on my fancy playlist, been on my Spotify playlist for the last several months. Fancy playlist of May the 8th, 2022. It is The Steps. Man, it's nice to hear from them again. They came out with some great dance music, highly energetic pop music, great workout music. If you have a hard time getting started working out, whether it's maybe jogging or on the elliptical or weightlifting or whatever, you want to listen to some of the music this group has put out. Never made it here in America. Never made it. It's such a shame. But boy, they were banging it up in England. 14 UK top 10 hits. 2 number 1 albums in the UK, 32 singles in all, a lot of them in the late 90s and early 2000s. Talking about The Steps, To the Beat of My Heart, their latest single is from the album called What the Future Holds. This song did not do too well in England, though. They may be a little bit past their prime as far as BBC Radio 1 is concerned, the younger crowd is concerned, but BBC Radio 2 did show this song a good bit of love. It was Single of the Week on BBC Radio 2, this record, To the Beat of My Heart. It was released, the promotional version was released this goes back a little bit, was released in November 2020, but officially released as a single in England in January of 2021. It was played. Actually, I think I discovered this song on BBC's Radio 2's playlist. I saw The Steps. I got to give this a listen to because this group goes back. Thanks to all the streaming services, I was able to listen to some of their music over here in the United States because, like I said before, it's just a shame. Highly energetic dance music. This was retrofitted for radio. But I don't know, maybe just a lot of people over here just don't appreciate that kind of music. Well, anyway, here's the deal about The Steps. They formed back in 1997, a 5-member group. It's either a 4 or 5-member group. The first single they put out was 5, 6, 7, 8. That was back in 1997 in England. But when I think of The Steps, the first song I heard by The Steps, it was not played on any of the radio stations here in the States, but Hitline, Muzak's Hitline. Their top 40, their CHR, Contemporary Hit Radio Outlet, they were all over this version of Tragedy by The Steps. They hot-wired that record up really good. They heated it up. And, you know, the original version by the Bee Gees was really energetic, but they added some, they added some more gasoline on that record, boy. They put some more fuel in there. It was driving, had some great propulsion. Steps with Tragedy, and as a matter of fact, I put it on my fancy playlist. That's right. I'm going back to the archives. June the 12th, 1999, I took the song Tragedy by The Steps up to number 2. Yes, I highly recommend that record. If you like that high energy dance music, pop music, well, there you go. Tragedy by The Steps. So let me see if I can get it at a right angle so it won't look so bright. There it is at number 2, up from 7 that week. And that was June, what was the date on that? June the 12th, 1999. Woo! Have mercy on me, 23 years ago. Talking about flowing right down the time machine. And right behind Robbie Williams with Millennium, which MTV played at night back in 1999. And Still My Sunshine by Lynn at number 3. Yes, Backstreet Boys at number 4. J-Lo at number 5. The song is an Elite Company on my fancy playlist, Tragedy by The Steps. A couple of years later, The Steps came out with I don't even know if anybody remembers this record. Back in 1985. I believe it was 1985. Might have been early 1986. Night Tracks on WTBS. They ran videos late at night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights way back in the day, almost 40 years ago now. They played a fantastic record by Diana Ross called Chain Reaction. A fabulous dance record. A perfect Studio 54, a perfect dance record. Draw you out to the dance floor. I tell you what, just throw that joystick in full gear and just get out there and just throw down on that Chain Reaction by Diana Ross. But the Diana Ross record, that Chain Reaction, only got as high as 95 here in the States. But it went to #1 in the UK. And the Steps covered that record. Did a fine job covering that record too. Their version came out in late 2001, and I got it. I thought I had it on my fancy playlist here. Wait a minute, this is 2001. Yeah, here it is at number 5. Yeah, I put it at number 5 on my fancy playlist. The date of December 22nd, 2001. That's right. Steps, This American loved the Steps. Chain Reaction, their version at number 5, below Nelly, Creed, and oh yeah, It Only Takes a Fool to Remain Sane or something. That was a huge hit in Europe. I highly recommend that record too. That was a pretty profound record. And Usher at number 1, You Got It Bad. And once again, Elite Company, the Steps. Boy, they still got that sound. This record got that hook-filled guitar that begins this record, and then it convulses with synthesizers, hammering percussion, and they're singing just gush right along with it. It's a tsunami of just splendid techno pop. Just overwhelmed me with that techno pop. I'm loving every minute of it, as Loverboy once sang. And there's a lot of people who produced this record. There was a name on there named Susan Thompson. There's so many names on the production credits of this record. I can't go into all that. There's just not any time for that. But I pressed on a name called Susan Thompson, I believe, on Wikipedia, and it led to this link, a production team in England called Exnomania. I believe that's how you pronounce it, a songwriting production team in England. Among the members of that group, Brian Higgins and Miranda Cooper, producers and songwriters. Apparently they produced this, but this, oh my goodness. They have produced records. Well, if you're watching this video in the UK, you're probably familiar with a lot of these names. Here in the States, I got to familiarize you with all these names here. Well, everybody's heard of Cher. They produced Cher, but Sophie Alex Bextor, Bexter, who had a number of hits in England back in the 2000s. They produced records by PSB, talking about Pet Shop Boys, and we're talking about Exnomania, the production team, producing records for the Saturdays. These all-girl, excuse me, pardon my runny nose. They produced these all female, basically these all female singing techno pop bands who sounded really great. They produced records by like the Saturdays, Sugar Babes, popular in England back in the 2000s, and they produced all the albums by a group called Girls Aloud, including Sounds of the Underground, which came out, was a hit in England back in 2002, 2003. As a matter of fact, Round and Round by the Sugar Babes got that on a fantasy playlist back in 2002 too. That was a huge hit in England. And Sounds of the Underground by Girls Aloud. Some people think that these two records helped reshape the British pop music sound of the 2000s. And that might be overblown a little bit, but maybe not too far off. Bottom line is, Steps, this song has the same rhythm, the same quality, the same sound as the Saturdays. The Girls Aloud, Sugar Babes. Oh, Sugar Babes has some fantastic records. We're talking about the 2000s. We're going back to 2000 on this. And, of course, Steps going back to the late 1990s. So they got this song out, To the Beat of My Heart, the formats for this record, the radio formats for this record. This has got to happen. This is it's an exciting record to listen to. Come on, it is. Let's make this group happen here in the States. They deserve it. They've been around for 25 years, a quarter of a century. And they deserve a break. This record, The radio formats for this record include satellite radio, adult contemporary. Oh yeah, just add a little energy to the adult contemporary format. Among the slow and mid-tempo songs, throw this in there. Say, wow, man, they're throwing down. I like this. I need a little bit of excitement. Pop. Oh, it's pop. It could fit a pop format. BPM. Oh, well, it's not a straight house record per se. But if it were me, if I was running a dance formatted radio station, I'd be very tempted to play this record. All right. So it's going in the top 10 on my fantasy playlist. They sound so good. Gotta make this song happen here in the States. Maybe it will one of these days. The Steps from England. I hope I educated I hope if you're watching this video here in the States and never heard of the Steps, hope I educated you a little bit, gave you more or less a well-rounded impression of this band. But anyway, bottom line is, I'm starting to ramble again, so let me finish up this video. The Steps, To the Beat of My Heart, debuting at number 38, a hot shot debut on my fantasy playlist of May the 8th, 2022. The Steps still going strong, 25 years after they formed. This is Dean Kirk signing off. Take care.